Johnson. I'm located in Dallas, which you can probably tell from my accent. And I am the CEO of People Results, former Accenture executive, and work with a lot of great clients, usually in the change, organizational development, making their organizations and leaders better. And I love what I'm doing right now. I like the variety, a lot of great relationships, and it's a good thing. I'm a believer in the possibilities, and I think there's two parts to that. One is you have to be able to see them first. So you have to let your mind be open to something different and believing that there's an opportunity there, even when it might not seem like there is. So I think it's kind of beliefs, what's going on in your head, because that's, as we know, that's half the battle, isn't it? And the second thing is probably I try to do something with it. I mean, in my book, I talk a lot about taking that first step. What can you do? What this first small step might turn out to be really, really big. And so I try as much as I can to practice what I preach. It's always good to do that, isn't it? So I think like what's going on in your head and believing in the possibilities in the future, and then deciding, let's do something with it. Let's get started. Let's do something. There's not one path to either do what you want to do or be successful. It was sort of like you kind of realize you can be yourself and it's going to work out. I mean, when I started early in my career, I started at Accenture. It was Anderson, Accenture, and so on. And it was a very, there were a lot more males that had, that were on the path that I wanted to be on than female. And I think for me, I was like a lot of other women that were in my age. You sort of felt like you had to be something you weren't in order to be, to progress. And over time, I kind of realized that not so much. I think you can let yourself, be who you are. There are some rules of success that you spend a lot of time on. There are some things that are going to increase your likelihood, but the more you can kind of do things your way, be who you are, and show up that way, you're going to have a greater chance of getting where you want to go. And I think some of it is less that I had an epiphany, and it's just more over time, sort of like realizing that you don't have to try to be somebody that you're not in order to do the stuff you want to do. You got to be willing to change your mind, and I think that's really hard for our leaders. They've been successful by having all the answers. That's one of the things that I found in my research is that is something that the more successful we get, the more we think we're supposed to have all the answers. We're supposed to know everything. And that is very counter to a climate of disruption, of everything changing. And so you got to be willing to kind of say, okay, I've changed my point of view. I have new facts. I'm willing to reconsider my opinion. I think that is very, very, very important. I think the other thing too, disruption and all the changes that are happening in industry, you have to be both short-term focused and also a little bit longer-term focused. We're so short-term focused when it's, in terms of stock and the value of stock and the quarterly results and all those kinds of things creates very short-term focus in leaders. But, got to be able to look forward and anticipate what's going to change, what's going to happen, because it's not going to be laid out in front of you. There aren't going to be the little easy steps that get you there. And I think that ability to anticipate and see where the shifts are going to happen, I think, is hard because we're a very data-driven culture right now. It's metrics, it's data, but you have to combine that with that judgment and that insight to say, put those two together, and this is where we're going. And I think that's a hard thing, that ambiguity, that uncertainty. It's very hard for leaders who want to know, boom, 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 we're going to do this, this, this. Sometimes it is very hard to do when the climate and the environment's changing so much.